Hello, my lovely students. How are you all? A very hearty welcome to this mind-blowing platform, Physics Wallah. My name is Nupur Sharma, and today we are going to do the tale of a custard dragon. See, the tale of a custard dragon is basically a ballet. Yes, we are going to read a ballet today. You know what's a ballet? Ballet is a very musical sort of poem. Okay, it's very musical. When you are reading this poem, you have to read it like a song. Okay, it's very lyrical, it's very rhythmic, and it's very beautiful to read. Okay, ballet is very emotional. You know, it can be romantic, it can be very emotional. And here we are going to find it out that it is emotional though, but it is very ironic and it is very humorous. You know, the comic timing in this ballet is great. Okay, so we are going to love it. Now let's start. We'll have an overview, then line by line explanation, poetic devices also we are going to see, and then we are going to do the summary of this beautiful ballet. This is a humorous poem. It's a humorous poem by Ogden Nash. Ogden Nash is basically here talking about a girl. Okay, here we are going to meet a girl whose name is Belinda, and she has a lot of pets. She has named all her pets. Okay, she has a kitten, she has a mouse, she has a dog, and she also has a dragon. Yes, she also has a dragon. So basically this story, this poem is completely fictional. You know, it's completely fictional. It is a fantasy in verse. Fantasy means, you know, here we are talking about all the mysterious things and everything. It's not, you know, actual at all real. And we'll also see the characteristics of all these animals that she has. Okay, all these pets are very courageous. They have a lot of courage, except a dragon. Yes, except a dragon. The dragon, who is the biggest of all the animals, he is very timid. He is, you know, a coward. He is, you know, he is not courageous and ferocious as compared to the other animals. Okay, he is not brave. He is a coward. He has a very timid type of personality. And now see, this is an irony. This is an irony because, you know, all the animals are very small. It's a kitten, it's a dog, and it's a mouse. And the dragon is quite big. But still, the dragon is the timid, you know, is very timid, and he's the, you know, he's not brave at all, and he's not ferocious. But here in this poem, the situation completely changes. The situation, the whole situation completely changes when a pirate enters in the plot. A pirate, who is a pirate? Pirate is a sea robber. Basically, it's a sea robber. You must have seen a pirate. Pirate, you know, he has, you know, his one eye is covered and he, you know, shoots the other people. He has a lot of guns and knives and everything. And he is basically a pirate ship. You must have seen a lot of pirate movies, and Pirate of the Caribbean you must have watched. So he was also a pirate, and he comes to Belinda's house and he attacks on the house. And who saves the day is the main plot of the poem. Okay, it's the main plot, that who saves the day, how the whole situation changes, and how the animals and Belinda, how, you know, they manage to, you know, get themselves out of that situation. So now let's find it out. Now, Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon and a really, oh truly, oh little pet dragon. So say, you have to sing it. Basically, you have to sing it. If you'll sing it, you'll really remember it very fast. Belinda, she lived in a little white house, as you can see in the image, and she has a little black kitten. Okay, she has a little grey mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon. See, this is a wagon. Okay. Wagon is like that. It has wheels and everything, and you can, you know, basically pull it. She has a wagon, and realio, trulio. Realio, trulio means really, truly. The poet has basically changed the spelling of realio, truly, really and truly, realio, trulio. This is not a word, okay? But the poet has used his poetic license. You know, the poets, they have a poetic license, and according to that license, they can change the spelling. So, in order to create a rhythm in the poem, he has changed the spelling of really, truly, little pet dragon. So, it's normal to have a mouse as a pet. It's normal to have a cat and a dog as a pet. But to keep as a dragon as a pet, you know, you have to convince the other person. So, that is why he has written really, truly, he has a pet, okay? Although it's a fantasy verse, but you have to believe it, that she also has a pet as, no, you know, a dragon as a pet. Now the name of the little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse, she called him Blink, and the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard, but the dragon was a coward and she called him Custard. Now, what's the name of the little black kitten? She is called Ink. Okay, the little grey mouse is called Blink. You are, getting familiar with the names of those. Now, the little yellow dog, he was sharp as mustard. Mustard, what's mustard? Mustard seeds, you must have seen, they are yellow in color, and because he was of yellow color and he was, he had a very sharp color, so that is why he was called Mustard. And the coward dragon, she called him Custard because he was coward, he was very mellow kind of a person. That is why his name was Custard. Now, Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth and spikes on top of him and scales underneath, mouth like a fireplace, chimney for a nose, and really, truly, daggers on his toes. Now they're explaining the structure of the dragon, that how he used to live, what the characteristics of the dragon. Custard the dragon, he had sharp big teeth and spikes on top of him. These are basically spikes. Okay, spikes are the pointed ends, as you must have seen dragons in pictures and everything, and these are spikes, these are pointed ones. So he had spikes and scales underneath. He had scales on his body. Okay, these are scales. Okay, these are scales. Scales basically mean that rubbery substance you can see in the body. There are shapes, different shapes like that. It's, they are the scales. His mouth is like a fireplace. What's a fireplace? Fireplace, this is a fireplace. Okay. And a chimney for a nose. It means that his mouth, it releases fire. And chimney, what's a chimney? Chimney is from where the smoke comes out. So fire comes out of his mouth and smoke comes out of its nose. That is why it's a dragon, obviously, so it has been explained like that. And really truly, and he had daggers on his feet. Daggers, what are daggers? Daggers are basically sharp knives. Instead of his toes, he had sharp knives. His toes were so sharp that it has been compared with the daggers. Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of beers, and Ink and Blink chased lions down the stairs. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Now they're explaining the characteristics, basically how they were, what was the personality of all these, animals. Belinda, the girl was as brave as a barrel full of beers. Barrel means a drum. Basically a drum full of beers. It means a handful of beers. It means she has the courage of a lot of beers. Ink and Blink, they could chase down they could chase the lions. Chase means that they could make them run. Okay, they could make them run. Lions down the stairs. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage. It means when a tiger is in a rage, when a tiger is angry. Now you know that when a tiger is angry, how ferocious it is, how brave it is, how strong he is. Now the dog has been compared to a tiger. But Custard was always crying for a nice safe cage, because Custard was coward. He had a very timid personality, so he was always looking for a safe cage. He never wanted to indulge in anything dangerous, so that is why he was always looking for a little safe cage. Belinda tickled him, she tickled him unmerciful. Ink, Blink and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon and the really truly cowardly dragon. Belinda tickled him. You know what's tickling? Tickling means doing like that. Okay, making him laugh. She used to do like that, and she used to tickle him. She tickled him unmerciful, without any mercy. Okay, she did it badly. Okay, he used to cry. Ink, Blink and Mustard. Ink, Blink and Mustard, they called him Percival. Now Percival is a character, okay, an ancient character, and I'll explain about this ancient character while we are doing the poetic devices. Okay, in the poetic devices, I have explained who is Percival. So they were always comparing him with Percival. They all sat laughing. They were always, laughing in the little red wagon, because obviously they all were very courageous. They all, matched each other's personalities. So they were all enjoying in the little red wagon. at the really or truly or cowardly dragon. They all sat in the wagon. They all used to laugh at the dragon, and the dragon, he was very coward, so he has to listen, because he, everybody was always taunting him, because he was, he was not courageous. Now, Belinda giggled till she shook the house, and Blink said, "Weak," which is giggling for a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age, when Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Belinda giggled. Now they are telling that how they used to taunt the dragon. Belinda giggled. Giggled means laughed. Laughing and showing her teeth. While showing her teeth, she used to show her teeth. She used to giggle like this. She used to like she used to do like that. She used to laugh on the dragon. And Blink said, "Weak, weak, weak." Weak means giggling. It means the mouse sounds. The sounds that the mice make. So he used to say, "Weak, weak, weak, weak." It means that he also used to laugh. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age. Ink and Mustard, they used to ask, "What's your age? Are you a baby?" They used to compare the dragon with a baby, and they used to, taunt him. Then Custard asked for a nice safe cage. So now we can see that Custard was the center of attraction. Everybody was laughing on the Custard, the dragon, because he was always asking for a nice safe cage. He never wanted to be in any trouble. So that we can see here. Suddenly they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled, and they all looked around. "Meouch!" cried Ink, and "Oh!" cried Belinda, for there was a pirate climbing the window. Suddenly they heard a nasty sound. They heard a very nasty sound. Nasty means a very bad sound, okay? It was a very bad sound, okay? It was a very bad sound. They heard the Mustard growled. Growl means, the sound that the dogs make. Growl, wow, wow. The Mustard, he did like that, and everybody was looking around. Ink cried, "Meouch!" Ink is the name of that kitten. Kitten said, "Meouch!" So it's onomatopoeia. All these are, these sounds. So sound words. So that is why there are a lot of sound words here. "Oh!" cried Belinda. Belinda said, "Oh!" Now, why are they reacting like that? They are reacting like that because there was a pirate. There was a sea robber who was climbing up their window. Window here means window. Okay, he was climbing up the window. So when they saw the pirate, they all were very scared. That is why they were making these noises. Pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. His beard was black, one leg was wood. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. Pistol in his left hand. It's not a very clear depiction of the, the pirate that came at their house, but he had a pistol in his left hand and pistol in his right. He had two pistols, he had pistol in both his hands. He had held his teeth, in his teeth are a cutlass bright. Cutlass means a very sharp knife, a sharp knife sort of thing. He had a knife sort of thing in his teeth. His beard was completely black, and his one leg was wood. He was just looking like a typical, pirate, as they appear to be. They have pistols, they have, the knives and everything. They have a leg of, wood. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. It means that he had no good intentions. He had no good intentions. He had no good intentions. He was basically here to harm them. Okay, he was not here to he had not come for a party or anything. That is why all these animals, they were very much scared. Not only the animals, but even Belinda, the owner of the house, Belinda, who was told to be very strong, she was also very much taken by surprise. Belinda paled and she cried, "Help, help!" But Mustard fled with a terrified yelp. Ink trickled down the bottom of the household, and little Mouse Blink strategically mouseholed. Belinda paled. She was paled. It means that she was frightened. The face of her color was completely changed. She cried, "Help, help, help!" She was shouting because she was very much scared. Mustard fled with a terrified yelp. It means the dog, he ran away with a terrifying yelp. Yelp here means basically he was shouting. He was, crying for help. He was also crying for help, and he ran away. Ink trickled down the bottom of the house. Trickle down, it means she rolled down the bottom of the house. She found a nice corner and she, hid there. And the little mouse, the blink also strategically mouse hole. It means that he was, he hid himself in a bill or something. He was in a mouse hole. He found a mouse hole and he, hid himself there. So everybody was scared. As I told you, that everybody, they were not expecting this kind of thing to happen. Although they were very courageous, but they started crying help, help and help, and everybody hid themselves here and there. But up jumped Custard, snorting like an engine, clashed his tail like irons in a dungeon. With a clatter and a clank and a jangling swarm, he went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. Now all these words snorting, clashed, clatter, clank, jangling, these all these words are sound words. Okay, these are onomatopoeia. Okay, these all words are onomatopoeia, and even here also it's all onomatopoeia. These all words, we can say the growled, meouch, and oh, that Belinda said, all these words are also the sound words. So basically what happened, that but up jumped Custard. Now Custard, it was the turn of Custard. How he reacted? He jumped up. He jumped up snorting like an engine. He was snorting. Snorting means the sound coming out of his nose. Sound of his nose, he was doing like that. He was, snorting. He was basically, breathing with his, breathing violently with his nose, and, fumes were coming out of his nose. Clashed his tails like irons in a dungeon. He clashed. Basically, clash means that he was, his tail was so strong, as you know that the tail of a dragon, obviously it has a lot of scales and it has a lot of, spikes and everything. So when it was clanking, it was making the sounds like metal, with a clatter and a clank and a jangling squirm. He was clattering, he was clanking. Basically these are all the sounds which are produced by metals. So it was like dum 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 dum. He was doing like that, and he was, when moving, it was just appearing that there is a huge sound of metals. He went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. He went at the pirate, he attacked at the pirate like a robin. Robin is a bird, like birds attack on a worm, similarly Custard attacked on the pirate. The pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. He fired 2 bullets, but they didn't hit, and Custard gobbled him every bit. Pirate gaped, opened his mouth in surprise. How the pirate reacted? Pirate was like that, because obviously he saw a dragon. He was very much astounded by it. He was, very much, scared. So he did like that. Now he gulped, just in order to gather some courage. He gulped some grog. What's grog? Grog is a drink drunk by sailors. The sailors, they drink a sort of, drink. It's a kind of, rum or something that they drink. And from a flagon. He drank it from a flagon. Flagon is basically a pocket bottle. It's a pocket bottle which people basically use to, keep their wine and everything, wine and rum. So he, just took out his flagon and he drank like that. So in order to gather courage, then he fired 2 bullets at the dragon, but obviously they didn't hit because his body is so strong. It's, it cannot be penetrated because it's very, thick layer. And Custard gobbled him. What Custard did? Custard gobbled him. Gobbled means gulped him. It gulped him. Finished him. He put him in his mouth and he just ate him up. Okay, ate him up. He basically ate him up. Okay, he ate him up. every bit. He didn't leave even a single trace. Belinda embraced him, Mustard licked him. No one mourned for his pirate victim. Ink and Blink in glee did gyrate around the dragon that ate the pirate. Now Belinda embraced him. It embraced him. She put her arms around the dragon. She was so much touched by this. She was so emotional because the dragon had saved the day. That is why she was showing her love. She embraced him like that. Mustard licked him. Obviously, how the dogs show their love. He started licking him up. Good. No one mourned for this pirate victim. Nobody was wailing for that. Nobody cried for the parrot because obviously parrot was a very bad person. He was the villain. So nobody cried because the villain had died. Ink and Blink in glee. Glee means in happiness. They were so happy that in their happiness they started gyrating around the, around the dragon. Gyrating means moving in circles. Moving in circles. Because of the dragon, because the dragon was so courageous, he had, saved the day. He had, eaten up the pirate. That is why everybody was happy. Belinda was hugging him, and Ink and Blink, they were gyrating him. They were moving around in circles. And Mustard was also, he was also licking the person. So everybody was kind of showing their love to the dear dragon Custard. But presently up spoke little dog Mustard. I had been twice as brave if I hadn't been flustered. And up spoke Ink and up spoke Blink. We have had been 3 times as brave as we think. And Custard said, I quite agree that everybody is braver than me. Now comes the situation. Now here comes a situation which is very comical, which is very funny. Because everything has happened. Everybody is very happy because the dragon has saved, everyone. Now, but presently means again, immediately, spoke little dog Mustard. The Mustard, the dog said, but I have been, twice as brave. I'm twice as brave as the dragon. And, I hadn't been so flustered. Flustered means if there was not so much confusion, I was very much confused. I was very much confused with what happened because he suddenly appeared in front of me and I was flustered, I was confused. That is why I couldn't react. Otherwise I would have been, twice as brave as the dragon. And up spoke Ink and up spoke Blink. The kitten and the mouse, they also spoke that we have been 3 times as brave. We would have been 3 times as brave. Now they are telling that we would have shown even more bravery. And Custard said, Custard was so humble. He was such a nice, dragon. He said that, okay, I agree with you. And he said that, okay, yes, everybody is braver than me. He was very humble. He, saved them. And, he's showed such modesty. He did not say anything back. And he accepted that, okay, he had accepted the ingratitude of the people. They had no gratitude towards the Custard, towards the dragon. So he said that, okay, fine. I know that everybody is braver than me. Okay. Now, Belinda still lives in a little white house with her little black kitten and her little grey mouse and her little yellow dog and a little red wagon and a really truly little pet dragon. Belinda is as brave as a barrel full of beers, and Ink and Blink chase lions down the stairs, and Mustard is as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard keeps crying for a nice safe cage. Now here we can see that here Belinda still lives. Only still is added. Otherwise the first 2 paragraphs have been repeated. The first 2 paragraphs have been repeated just in order to show the order of the sequences, that the sequence is again the same, that everybody is back to the pavilion, that everybody, how the poem started, it is going to end the same way. It's not like that now as the Custard has, as the dragon has saved the day, so he's going to be, praised by everyone. Everybody is going to call him brave now. No, it's not like that. Everybody is back to the pavilion. Belinda still lives in the White House with her little black kitten, her little grey house, and her little yellow dog and little red dragon and her pet dragon. Belinda is still brave. She's brave as a barrel full of beers. Ink and Blink, they chase down the lions, and Mustard is as brave as a tiger. but Custard keeps crying for a nice safe cage. So again, Custard, he's just same like that. Nothing has changed. So in order to show the continuity and to show basically the previous order, they have repeated the first two paragraphs. Okay, so there is no change. Basically, they are talking that there has been no change after that such a big incident. Okay. So now we are going to discuss the poetic devices. See, first of all, it's a ballet. The poem is in the form of a ballet. It's a long poem, usually set to music. It means that it's a very long poem and it is very musical. Okay, it's very lyrical, it's very musical. Nash uses this form to narrate the tale of Custard, the dragon, and how he defeats a pirate. How a dragon who was, very much, timid. Okay, he had no courage. How he suddenly became ferocious, and how he saved everyone from a pirate. That has been shown by, with the help of this humorous poem. Now further, simile. What's a simile? There are a lot of similes that has been used in this poem. As we can see, sharp as mustard, mouth like a fireplace, as brave as a barrel full of bears, brave as a tiger in a cage, snorting like an engine, clashed his tails like a dungeon. See, as word has been used. Okay, like, what's a simile? Simile is when you use as and like in comparison. Simile is comparison words, and you use as and like. Okay. So these are the examples. These are very clear examples of similes here. Here, as we can see that he is compared with the color of the dog is yellow. That is why he's being compared with mustard. Okay, that is why his name is Mustard, because he's very sharp. Now she is compared with a barrel full of bears. She is so courageous. That is why she has been compared with a lot of bears. And he was snorting like an engine, like the sounds of engine are being produced. Okay, so that has been shown like that. And his tail is also compared, with a metal piece, like it's clashing and it's making a lot of noise. Through this device, Nash creates humorous descriptions. So this he is using in order to create humorous descriptions, in order to add, to the comic timing of this poem. That is why they have been compared with these things. Now, further, repetition. The poet uses repetition at various points in the poem to create a rhythmical effect. Why is repetition used to create a rhythmical effect? Little word has been used quite many times, okay, multiple times in the first two stanzas. So little word, little mouse, little kitten, take a little dog. So that word has been used. Onomatopoeia. The word weak is an example of onomatopoeia. So weak is a sound which is basically the giggling for a mouse. So it's the sound that mice make. Meek, weak. It's like that. Clatter, clank, and jangling. These are the sounds of onomatopoeia. They are basically the sounds that metals produce. So that is a clear depiction of onomatopoeia. Further, poetic license. Poetic license, realio, trulio, weak, vinda. So they have been used. Really, truly, weak. Weak is also, is not spelled correctly. Vinda. Window is, spelled as vinda. So this is to maintain the rhyme scheme of the poem. See, I have been explaining you all these things because what happens in exams is that nowadays you are getting questions wherein you are not directly asked the poet, the poetic devices. You are not given these kind of questions, but you have been asked that why the poetic devices have been used. If you have seen your sample paper very clearly, you must have seen there that they are asking the purpose of using that poetic device. Okay, they, for example, they have shown this repetition, and they are going to ask you that what is the purpose of the poet to use repetition here, why it has been created. So you can write in order to create a rhythmic, in order to create a rhythm. So basically there are MCQs based on these kind of questions, so you can answer clearly. Here poetic license, they can ask you that poetic license has been used here, why it has been used. So you can say that in order to maintain the rhyme scheme, that is why this has been used. Now further, alliteration. The line Belinda is as brave as a barrel full of beers is an example of alliteration. Alliteration, is the repetition of consonants, and here B is being repeated several times. As you can see, B, 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 B. B is being repeated 4 times here. So B is a consonant and it has been placed on the in the first position of the words. That is why this is alliteration. Allusion of is used as the custard is being called Percival. You know what's allusion? Allusion is when you use the name of a famous person or a place or a thing in order to create an illusion when you start to imagine something. So here the reference of Percival has been used. Percival is used for the dragon. Ink and Blink, they used to call him Percival. Percival was one of King Arthur's knights who was known for running away due to lack of courage. Thus the character called Custard Percival because they consider him a coward. Percival was King Arthur's knight. He was the soldier of this King Arthur. He was in his army, and because of the lack of courage, he just ran away from the that battlefield because he was very courageous. He was not courageous, he was very timid, he was not brave at all. And he's also, Percival is also a person who is known for his innocence. He was very innocent, he did not know anything about fighting and everything, so he just ran away. And Custard is also like that. Custard is also shown that he was also, till he didn't save that people from the pirate and everything, so it has been shown that he was also like that, only he was a very timid person, he was very coward person. So the comparison of Percival has been made to create an allusion. Further, irony. There is a lot of irony in this poem. Nash has used irony to show that while Belinda and her pets consider themselves as brave, they ultimately ran from the pirate. Now this is the irony, this is the biggest irony. Irony means basically that the opposite happens. The opposite happens. What has been shown, the opposite happens. Like everybody is shown to be very brave. The mouse, the cat and the owner, they have been shown that they are very courageous, but they ran away. They were the first one to run away when a bad situation came, when the actual danger came, they all ran away. The Custard, although Custard who always used to cry for a safe cage, he saved the day. He actually saved everyone from that pirate. He just gobbled the pirate up, he ate up the pirate. Now let's do the summary. In summary, we have done the character points. Belinda and her pets. Belinda lived in a little white house. She lived with a little black kitten called Ink, grey mouse called Blink, a brave yellow dog called Mustard, and a cowardly pet dragon called Custard. She also had a little red wagon. Now, first of all, they are telling about Belinda and her pets. As we have seen in the poem, that first of all, the character introduction, not the character introduction, but the introduction of everybody is given. Then the character is also shown. The personality of the animals is also shown. Now, they are telling about the Custard, the cowardly dragon. Custard had sharp teeth, spikes grew out of his back, his skin was covered with scales, and he had long knife-like toes. He could also breathe fire. Now Custard is being explained that how Custard used to look. He had spikes, he had sharp teeth, he had sharp knife-like toes he had. Belinda, Ink, Blink and Mustard all considered themselves very brave. They all considered themselves very brave. So when Custard, a fierce-looking dragon, cried for a cage, they did not spare him. They used to taunt him. All the other animals, they used to taunt him. Belinda also taunt him. They always, they used to laugh on him because he was, courageous, and he was always looking for a life, a nice cage. He was always running away from the danger. Belinda used to tickle him. Ink, Blink and Mustard rudely called him names. They all laughed at Custard, the cowardly dragon. They used to laugh at him because he was very, coward. Belinda laughed so hard it shook the house. Blink giggled. Ink and Mustard rudely called Custard old. They used to call Custard old. They used to say that, Custard, you're so old. You know, what's your age? And you are, you know, why are you, you know, fearing like that? You know, you have a lot of fear in your heart. Why are you always looking for a nice, safe cage? Now, the arrival of the parrot. Suddenly they heard a sound. Belinda cried out. There was a parrot climbing in the window. He had 2 pistols in his hand. Between his teeth, he held a sharp knife. Now they're explaining the parrot, that suddenly a parrot came in their lives. And the parrot, they heard a sound. And when he was climbing, everybody was scared. Everybody was, you know, they were gaping that, oh my God, a parrot has come. Now the parrot had 2 pistols each in his hand. He had a, you know, dagger in his mouth, in between his teeth. He also had a black beard. He had a wooden leg, and he was there to, you know, do harm. He was there for no good. He had come for a, you know, very wrong purpose. Maybe he was, you know, there to, you know, rob them. Belinda cried out for help. All the animals except Custard fled. Everybody fled. As we can see, there was a lot of irony in the poem, that everybody who was showing that we are very much courageous, but they didn't show any courage at all. But the Custard, you know, he remained. He was still there. Now Custard to the rescue. Custard sprang up to confront the parrot. The parrot gaped at the Custard and took a sip from his bottle. Then he fired 2 bullets at Custard, but the bullets did not harm Custard. Custard sprang up. Custard, suddenly he, you know, attacked at the parrot like a robin at a worm. He just attacked like a bird, you know, attacks at a worm, and he gobbled him up. No, before gobbling him up, he, you know, that pirate, it shot 2 bullets, but it could do no harm to the dragon, because he had such a thick skin. That is why he could not do anything. He simply gobbled every bit of the parrot. Now Belinda, because she was very happy, she hugged Custard. You know, she hugged Custard, and Ink and Blink, they were running around him, that dragon, and Mustard was also licking him. Ink and Blink danced around Custard. No one cried for the dead parrot. The aftermath. Last thing is the aftermath. What happened afterwards is very important. It is the irony. It is basically that how the real situations happens. Then Mustard said he could have been twice as brave if he hadn't been surprised. Ink and Blink also said they could have been thrice as brave. As expected, everybody who was, you know, basically they were praising Custard. They start, you know, telling that, no, we are more brave. You know, we are braver as compared to them. He's twice as brave. You know, I could have been twice as brave. He's saying that I could have been, you know, thrice as brave. Ink and Blink also said they could have been thrice as brave. Custard also agreed. Custard also said that, okay, I agree with you. Belinda still lives in her White House with all her other pets, and everybody is as brave as, you know, a barrel full of beers and everything. But the Custard, the dragon, he's still crying for the little safe cage. She, Ink and Blink and Mustard still consider themselves as brave, and Custard still cries. Now, this is basically the reality of the society. If I tell you, it is a ballet which is showing the reality. It is basically trying to show that yes, in reality this happens. The people who show that we are very courageous, they are the ones who flee the scene. They are the ones who run away whenever there is danger. But the person who are very modest, who are very humble, who say that okay, we are not so brave, they are the ones who save the day. As we can see in this case. In this case also, he is the one who saves the day. He is the one who is, you know, more courageous, but still he's so humble, he's so nice, he's so warm that he accepts that okay, everybody is brave. I am the one who's, you know, not brave at all. I'm the one who's a timid person. So okay, everybody wins. So it was a win-win situation for everyone. But we are actually in love with this beautiful dragon who saved everybody's life. So students, let's meet in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.